The Flow State Formula: How to Achieve Peak Mental Performance, a motivational audiobook by the Protocols of Astrian. Before we start, if you ever feel like you are walking through fog alone, hit subscribe and let these audiobooks be your quiet companion through every season. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just seemed to click perfectly? You were doing something you loved, and time either flew by or slowed down, and your mind was completely quiet and focused. Maybe you were playing a sport, working on a creative project, having a great conversation, or even solving a problem at work. In that moment, you felt alive, confident, and unstoppable, like you could do no wrong. That feeling has a name, and it is called the flow state, and it is not some rare gift for a lucky few. It is a natural ability that lives inside your brain right now, waiting for you to unlock it and use it whenever you want. This book is your personal guide to finding that amazing feeling on purpose, not just by accident once in a while. We are going to take a journey together to understand what flow really is and how you can invite it into your life every single day. You will learn simple, practical steps to quiet the noise in your head, focus your energy, and perform at a level you might have only dreamed about before. The best part is that you do not need to be an expert or a genius to make this work. You just need an open mind and a willingness to try something new, and I promise you that the rewards will change the way you see yourself and what you are capable of achieving. Chapter 1: What is Flow and Why It's Your Superpower? Let us start by painting a clear picture of what we are actually talking about in this book. Imagine you are so focused on an activity that nothing else in the world seems to matter anymore. You are not thinking about what you need to buy at the grocery store, and you are not worrying about that argument you had yesterday. Your attention is locked onto the present moment, and your actions feel smooth and automatic, like they are happening without you even trying. This is the flow state, and scientists have studied it for years to understand why it feels so good and why it makes us perform so much better. When you are in flow, your brain actually works differently, releasing a powerful mix of chemicals that make you feel happy, creative, and incredibly alert. It is like your mind has shifted into a higher gear, and everything just runs more smoothly. Think of flow as your brain's natural superpower mode, the setting it was always meant to run on. When you are in this state, you are not distracted by self-doubt or fear of failure, because those voices simply cannot be heard over the roar of focused engagement. You become completely absorbed in the task at hand, whether that is writing, running, painting, or solving a difficult puzzle. Time can play tricks on you too. Sometimes hours will pass that feel like minutes, and other times everything seems to slow down so you can react perfectly. This is your mind and body working together in perfect harmony, and it is one of the most satisfying experiences a human being can have. The great news is that this is not a mystery, and it is not something that only happens to professional athletes or famous artists. Flow is your birthright, and once you learn what it feels like and how to find it, you can start bringing it into your everyday activities. You will begin to look forward to your work and your hobbies in a whole new way because you know that deep satisfaction is waiting for you there. Understanding this state is the first step toward making it a regular part of your life. When you understand that flow is a real, physical state your brain can enter, it stops feeling like magic and starts feeling like a skill you can build. Your brain wants to be in this state because it is efficient and rewarding, and it actually uses less energy when it is deeply focused on one thing. Think about how exhausting it feels to constantly switch your attention between your phone, your thoughts, and your surroundings. Flow gives your brain a rest from that chaos by giving it one single, interesting thing to focus on completely. This is why people often feel refreshed and energized after a long period of flow, even if they worked hard physically. You are not draining your battery. You are actually recharging it by giving your mind the deep focus it craves. This is a powerful secret that most people never learn, and it is going to become your new favorite way to work and live. Another amazing thing about flow is that it is the ultimate confidence builder, and here is why. When you perform well in the zone, You are not just getting lucky, you are proving to yourself what you are truly capable of achieving. Each time you enter this state and do something great, you build a little more trust in your own abilities. You start to see yourself as someone who can handle challenges, think clearly under pressure, and produce excellent work without agonizing over every detail. This confidence then carries over into other areas of your life, making you more willing to take on new challenges. You stop being afraid of difficult tasks because you know you have the tools to find your zone and crush them. It becomes a beautiful cycle where success leads to more confidence, which leads to more willingness to find flow again. It is also important to know that flow can happen in almost any activity, not just the ones we think of as exciting or glamorous. You can find flow while washing dishes if you focus completely on the sensation of the warm water and the satisfaction of making things clean. You can find it while organizing your closet, while folding laundry, or while walking your dog and paying attention to every detail of the world around you. The activity itself does not have to be special. What matters is your relationship to that activity and how fully you show up for it. This is such freeing knowledge because it means that your whole day is full of potential flow opportunities. You do not have to wait for the weekend or a vacation to feel that amazing sense of engagement. You can start practicing right now, with whatever is in front of you, and that is incredibly exciting to think about. Finally, let us be clear that flow is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. In fact, when you are truly in the zone, you are not even thinking about mistakes because your mind is too busy enjoying the ride. You might make a misstep, but you will recover smoothly because you are so tuned in to what is happening. The absence of fear is what allows you to take the smart risks that lead to your best performances. You are playing full out, giving it everything you have, and that is a beautiful thing to witness in yourself. So as we move forward in this book, hold on to this simple idea: flow is your superpower. It is always available, and it is waiting for you to claim it. Chapter 2: The Mindset Switch, From Trying Too Hard to Trusting Yourself. Most of us have been taught our whole lives that the way to succeed is to try harder, push more, and grit our teeth through every difficulty. We think that if we just exert enough effort and willpower, we can force our way to success and make our dreams happen. But here is the surprising truth that might change everything for you. Trying too hard is actually one of the biggest things that blocks you from the flow state. When you strain and struggle and put all your energy into forcing an outcome, your muscles tense up and your thinking becomes rigid. You start to overthink every little move, and that inner critic in your head gets louder and louder. This is the opposite of the relaxed, confident feeling you need to perform at your peak. So the first big mindset shift is learning to stop pushing so hard and start allowing things to happen. Think of it like trying to grab a handful of water from a stream. If you clench your fist tight and try to grab it, the water just squirts out between your fingers and you end up with nothing. But if you cup your hands gently and let the water flow into them, you can hold it and even drink from it. Your best performance is the same way. It flows into you when you are open, relaxed, and receptive, not when you are tense and grabbing. This does not mean you become lazy or that you stop caring about doing well. It means you shift your effort from forceful pushing to focused, relaxed attention. You are still working hard, but it feels different. It feels lighter and more playful. This is the secret of the masters in every field. They have learned how to care deeply about their work while staying loose and trusting themselves. Trusting yourself is the other half of this equation, and it can be a scary thing to do at first. We are so used to doubting ourselves and second-guessing every decision we make. We think that if we relax our control, we will mess everything up and fail completely. But the truth is that you have skills, knowledge, and instincts inside you that are much smarter than your conscious, worrying mind. When you trust yourself, you are giving permission for those deeper parts of you to take over and do what they know how to do. This is like riding a bike. If you think too hard about every little movement, you will wobble and fall. But if you trust your body and just go, you glide forward smoothly and easily. Your brain has been practicing things your whole life, and it is time to let it show you what it can do. This mindset switch also involves changing your relationship with the outcome of your actions. When you are trying too hard, you are usually focused on the result, on winning, on getting the grade, or on impressing other people. That focus on the future pulls you out of the present moment and fills you with anxiety about things you cannot control. But when you switch to trusting yourself, you shift your focus to the process itself, to the joy of doing the activity right now. You stop caring so much about whether you win or lose, and you start caring more about whether you are fully engaged in the game. This is incredibly freeing because it removes the fear that was holding you back. You can take risks, be creative, and express yourself fully without worrying about the judgment that might come later. The beautiful thing about this new mindset is that it actually makes success more likely, not less. When you are relaxed and trusting, your brain works faster and more creatively because it is not bogged down by fear and doubt. You see opportunities that you would have missed before because you were too busy worrying. You react to situations with speed and grace because you are not overthinking every possible response. It is a paradox that takes some getting used to, but it is absolutely true. By letting go of your death grip on success, you actually invite success to come to you more easily. You become the kind of person who performs well under pressure because pressure does not scare you anymore. You have learned that you can handle whatever comes your way by staying calm and trusting your abilities. Making this switch is not something that happens overnight, and you will have to practice it many times before it becomes your new habit. You will catch yourself tensing up and trying to force things, and that is perfectly okay. Just notice it happening, take a deep breath, and gently remind yourself to relax and trust. Think of it like training a puppy. You do not yell at it for making a mistake. You just patiently guide it back to where it needs to be. Be patient and kind with yourself as you learn this new way of being. Every time you choose trust over force, you are building a new pathway in your brain. Soon enough, this relaxed confidence will become your default setting, and you will wonder why you ever struggled so hard before. Chapter 3: Your Brain's Quiet Setting, Taming the Mental Noise. Imagine trying to have a deep, meaningful conversation with a friend while standing right next to a loud construction site. You would not be able to hear them clearly, and you would probably get frustrated and give up trying to talk. This is exactly what it is like trying to find flow when your mind is full of constant noise and chatter. That noise is the endless stream of thoughts about the past, worries about the future, judgments about yourself, and random distractions that bounce around in your head all day. It is the voice that tells you that you are not good enough, that you are going to fail, or that you should be doing something else. This inner critic and this mental chaos are the biggest enemies of the quiet, focused state you need to perform at your best. So learning to tame this noise is one of the most important skills you will ever develop. The first step to taming the noise is simply becoming aware of it, noticing that it is there without judging it or trying to make it stop. Most of us are so used to this constant mental chatter that we do not even realize it is happening. We think that is just what it means to be a thinking person, but it does not have to be that way. Start paying attention throughout your day to what is going on inside your head. Notice how your mind jumps from thought to thought like a monkey swinging from tree to tree. Notice how it rehashes old conversations and imagines scary future scenarios. Just observing this process without getting caught up in it is a powerful act. You are separating yourself from the noise, realizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who is aware of the thoughts. Once you can see the noise clearly, you can start to learn simple techniques to quiet it down when you need to focus. One of the most effective tools is your own breath, which is always with you and always available. When you notice your mind getting loud, take a moment to take 3 slow, deep breaths and pay attention to the physical sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. This simple act pulls your attention away from the swirling thoughts and anchors it in the present moment. Your breath is like a calm island in the middle of a stormy sea, and you can visit it anytime you need a break. With practice, you will get better and better at noticing the noise early and using your breath to settle it down before it gets too loud. Another powerful technique is to imagine your thoughts as clouds passing through a vast, blue sky. You are the sky, which is always calm and clear, and your thoughts are just temporary visitors passing through. You do not have to grab onto them or push them away. You can just watch them drift by and disappear on their own. This creates a little space between you and your thoughts, a space where you can choose how to respond instead of being controlled by every mental impulse. When you realize that you do not have to believe everything you think, you gain a tremendous amount of freedom. That critical voice loses its power over you because you see it as just another cloud, not as the truth. You can acknowledge it and let it go without letting it ruin your focus. Physical movement is also a fantastic way to quiet a noisy mind, and it works for almost everyone. Going for a walk, doing some stretching, or even just shaking your body out for a minute can break the spell of anxious thinking. When you move your body, you send fresh blood and oxygen to your brain, and you give your thinking mind something else to focus on. You also release tension that has been stored in your muscles, tension that was probably contributing to your mental stress. This is why so many great thinkers and creators swear by taking walks when they feel stuck or overwhelmed. They know that they cannot think their way out of mental noise, but they can move their way out of it. Your body is a powerful ally in your quest for a quiet mind. As you practice quieting the noise, you will start to notice that there are moments of beautiful silence between your thoughts. In those moments, you feel peaceful, clear, and deeply connected to whatever you are doing. These are the moments when flow can enter easily because there is no mental traffic blocking the way. You will also notice that you are able to focus for longer periods without getting distracted because the noise is not constantly pulling you away. Taming your mind is like learning to play a musical instrument. It takes consistent practice, but the reward is the ability to create beautiful music whenever you want. Be patient with the process and celebrate every small victory. Every time you notice the noise and choose to come back to the present, you are strengthening your quiet setting. Chapter 4. The Goldilocks Rule. Not too hard, not too easy. Have you ever started a new hobby and then quit soon after because it was either boring or way too frustrating? This happens to all of us, and it is not because we lack talent or willpower. It is because the challenge level was wrong for our current skill level. Think back to the story of Goldilocks and the three bears. She did not want the porridge that was too hot or too cold. She wanted the one that was just right. Your brain works exactly the same way when it comes to finding flow. If a task is too easy, you get bored, your mind wanders, and you cannot focus. If a task is too hard, you get anxious, frustrated, and you want to give up. But when the challenge is perfectly matched to your skills, you slip right into that amazing zone where everything clicks. This Goldilocks rule is one of the most important secrets to understanding how to find flow on purpose. You have to actively look for tasks and activities that stretch you just a little bit beyond your current comfort zone. They should require you to pay attention and try hard. But they should not feel impossible or overwhelming. This sweet spot is where growth happens, and it is also where you feel most alive and engaged. When you are working in this zone, you are fully present because you have to be. Your skills are being tested, but you know you have what it takes to succeed if you focus. This creates a wonderful feeling of being challenged but in control, and that feeling is the doorway to flow. Think about a video game that you really enjoy playing. The best games are designed to get progressively harder as you get better, so you are always facing a challenge that is just tough enough to keep you interested. If the game stayed at the same easy level forever, you would get bored and stop playing. If it suddenly became impossibly hard, you would get frustrated and quit. Good game designers understand the Goldilocks rule perfectly, and they use it to keep players in a state of focused engagement for hours. You can use this same principle in your own life by paying attention to how you feel during your activities. If you are bored, it is a sign that you need to increase the challenge. If you are anxious, it is a sign that you need to break the task down or learn a new skill. Applying this rule to your work and hobbies means you have to become a student of your own feelings. Start paying attention to the moments when you lose focus or feel like giving up. Ask yourself honestly whether the task is too easy or too hard for you right now. If it is too easy, how can you make it more interesting? Can you add a time limit, try to do it with greater precision, or take on an extra challenge? If it is too hard, how can you simplify it? Can you break it into smaller steps, ask someone for help, or give yourself permission to do a rough version first? You have the power to adjust almost any task to make it fall into that perfect middle zone. You are not a victim of your work. You are the designer of your own engagement. When you master the art of balancing challenge and skill, you will find that you can find flow in almost any area of your life. You will look forward to your work because it gives you a chance to test yourself in a satisfying way. You will stop procrastinating on difficult tasks because you will know how to break them down into just right pieces. You will also become much more aware of when you are slipping into boredom or anxiety, and you will have the tools to pull yourself back into the sweet spot. This skill will make you more productive, but more importantly, it will make your days much more enjoyable. You will stop waiting for the weekend to have fun, and you will start finding fun in the middle of your Tuesday afternoon. Remember that your skills are always growing and changing, so the Goldilocks zone is a moving target. What felt perfectly challenging last month might feel boringly easy today, and that is a sign of your growth. Celebrate that growth, and then look for the next challenge that will stretch you just a little bit more. This is the path of continuous improvement and continuous engagement with life. You are always reaching, always learning, and always finding that sweet spot where you feel most alive. This is not a one-time fix. It is a way of living that keeps you in the game and loving every minute of it. Chapter 5, Clear as Glass, The Power of a Single Goal. Imagine trying to drive to a new city without a map or a destination in mind. You would just wander around aimlessly, wasting gas and getting frustrated because you have no idea where you are going. Your brain works the same way when you try to focus without a clear goal in front of you. It does not know where to direct its attention, so it bounces around from thought to thought, never settling on anything for very long. This scattered feeling is the opposite of flow, which requires your full, undivided attention on one thing. That is why having a single, clear goal is so incredibly powerful. It gives your brain a target to lock onto, and once it locks on, everything else fades away. A clear goal acts like a magnet for your attention, pulling all your mental energy toward it and keeping it there. When you know exactly what you are trying to accomplish in this moment, your brain can organize itself around that task. It can call up the skills and memories it needs and silence the parts that are not relevant. This is why athletes focus on the next play and not on winning the whole game. The next play is a clear, immediate goal they can attack right now. You need to create these small, clear goals for yourself in whatever you are doing. Not a vague goal like do a good job, but a specific goal like write 3 strong paragraphs or finish this report by noon. The magic of a single goal is that it simplifies your world and reduces the mental load on your brain. Instead of juggling 10 different things you need to do, you give yourself permission to focus on just one. This might feel uncomfortable at first because we are so used to multitasking and trying to do everything at once. But multitasking is a myth. Your brain can only truly focus on one thing at a time, and when you try to do more, you just end up doing everything poorly. Committing to a single goal frees you from that exhausting juggling act. It allows you to put all your eggs in one basket and protect that basket with your full attention. When your goal is clear, you also get something incredibly valuable, immediate feedback on how you are doing. You know instantly whether your action is moving you toward your goal or not. This feedback keeps you engaged and allows you to make small adjustments in real time, which is a key part of being in flow. If your goal is fuzzy, you have no idea if you are succeeding or failing, and that uncertainty creates anxiety and distraction. But with a clear goal, every small step forward gives you a little hit of satisfaction that keeps you going. You are constantly getting signals that say, Yes, you are on the right track, and those signals are like fuel for your focused attention. Choosing your single goal is also a powerful act of intention. You are deciding what matters most right now, and you are saying no to everything else that might try to steal your attention. This is not always easy because the world is full of distractions designed to pull you away. Your phone buzzes, your email dings, someone walks into your office. But when you have a clear goal, you have a strong reason to say, "Not now," to those distractions. You can acknowledge them and then return your focus to what you decided was important. This puts you in the driver's seat of your own attention, and that is a very empowering place to be. As you practice working with single, clear goals, you will notice that you get more done in less time and with less effort. You will stop having those days where you feel busy all day, but somehow accomplished nothing important. You will finish your most important tasks and still have energy left over for other things. You will also feel a deep sense of satisfaction at the end of the day because you know you gave your best focus to the things that truly mattered. This is the power of clarity, and it is one of the simplest and most effective tools you have for inviting flow into your life. Make your goals clear as glass and watch how your mind responds. Chapter 6. Your body is the gateway, energy, sleep, and movement. We often make the mistake of thinking that mental performance is all about the brain, as if our minds float separately from our physical bodies. But the truth is that your brain is an organ inside your body, and it is deeply affected by everything that happens to the rest of you. If your body is tired, run down, and full of tension, your mind will be too. You cannot expect to think clearly and find flow when you are running on 4 hours of sleep and junk food. Your body is the gateway to your mind, and if you want to perform at your peak mentally, you have to take care of the vessel that carries your brain around. This is not about becoming a fitness fanatic. It is about giving yourself the basic physical support you need to shine. Let us start with sleep, which is the foundation of everything else you do. When you sleep, your brain does not just shut off. It gets busy cleaning itself, organizing memories, and preparing for the next day. Think of sleep as your brain's nightly maintenance and cleanup crew. If you shortchange that crew on time, they cannot do their job properly, and you wake up with a brain that is still cluttered and sluggish. You will have trouble focusing, your emotions will be harder to control, and you will be much more easily frustrated. Making sleep a priority is not lazy. It is one of the smartest and most effective performance enhancers you have. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, and notice how much easier it is to find your zone the next day. Movement is another critical piece of the puzzle, and it does not have to mean running marathons or spending hours in the gym. Your body was designed to move, and when you sit still for too long, everything starts to shut down. Your energy drops, your thinking gets foggy, and your mood can sink. But even a small amount of movement can wake your brain right back up. A brisk 10-minute walk can increase blood flow to your brain and improve your focus for hours afterward. Stretching can release physical tension that was distracting you without you even realizing it. Think of movement as a way to shake the dust off your brain and get the energy flowing again. Find ways to move your body throughout the day, and your mind will thank you. Your physical energy levels are also directly tied to what you eat and drink throughout the day. Your brain runs on fuel, and if you give it low-quality fuel, you will get low-quality performance. Sugary snacks might give you a quick burst of energy, but they are always followed by a crash that leaves you feeling worse than before. Drinking enough water is also crucial because even mild dehydration can make you feel tired and unfocused. You do not need a complicated diet, just pay attention to how different foods make you feel. Notice which ones give you steady, lasting energy and which ones make you feel sluggish. Your body is always giving you feedback, you just have to start listening to it. When your body feels good, your mind naturally feels more confident and capable. You stand up straighter, you breathe more deeply, and you move through the world with more ease. This physical confidence translates directly into mental confidence, making you more willing to take on challenges and trust your abilities. You also have more physical energy to devote to deep focus, which is actually quite demanding. Being in flow takes effort, and you need a reserve of energy to sustain it. When you are well rested, well fed, and have moved your body, you have a full tank of gas to power your focused attention. You are ready to go the distance. Think of taking care of your body as an act of respect for yourself and for your potential. You are telling yourself that you matter and that your goals are worth the effort of feeling good. This is not about perfection or having a perfect body. It is about giving yourself the basic support you need to live your best life. Start with small changes. Go to bed a little earlier. Drink a glass of water when you wake up. Take a short walk in the middle of your day. These small investments in your physical self will pay huge dividends in your mental performance. Your body is your partner in this journey, so treat it like the valuable friend it is. Chapter 7. The Fuel You Use. Food and Drink for a Sharp Mind. Building on what we just discussed about your body, let us dive deeper into the specific fuel that powers your amazing brain. Think of your brain as a high-performance sports car. It needs the best fuel to run smoothly and reach top speeds. If you put dirty, low-grade fuel into a sports car, it will sputter, stall, and fail to perform when you need it most. Your brain is exactly the same way, and the food and drinks you choose throughout the day have a massive impact on your ability to focus, think clearly, and find flow. This chapter is not about giving you a strict diet to follow. It is about helping you understand how to feed your brain for peak performance. The first thing to understand is that your brain runs primarily on glucose, which is a type of sugar that comes from the food you eat. But not all glucose is created equal, and the source matters tremendously. If you eat something with refined sugar, like a candy bar or a sugary soda, you get a quick rush of glucose into your bloodstream. Your brain gets a sudden burst of energy, but it is quickly followed by a crash as your body releases insulin to clear all that sugar out. That crash leaves you feeling tired, irritable, and unable to focus. On the other hand, if you get your glucose from complex carbohydrates like oats, fruits, or vegetables, the energy is released slowly and steadily. This gives your brain a consistent supply of fuel that lasts for hours, keeping you sharp and focused. Healthy fats are another critical fuel source for your brain, and they are absolutely essential for good mental performance. Your brain is actually made up of about 60% fat, and it needs healthy fats to build and maintain its cells. Foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish provide these healthy fats that support brain structure and function. These fats also help you feel satisfied after eating, which means you are less likely to reach for sugary snacks when your energy dips. Including some healthy fat in each of your meals can help stabilize your energy and keep your thinking clear. Do not be afraid of fat. Your brain needs it to thrive. Protein is also vital because it provides the building blocks for the neurotransmitters that your brain uses to communicate. Neurotransmitters are like chemical messengers that carry signals between your brain cells, affecting your mood, focus, and energy. Eating protein throughout the day helps your brain produce these messengers in the right amounts. Good sources of protein include eggs, beans, lentils, chicken, and fish. Including protein in your breakfast, in particular, can set you up for a day of stable energy and clear thinking. It helps prevent that mid-morning mental fog that so many people experience when they eat only carbs for breakfast. Hydration is just as important as food, and it is something that many people overlook completely. Your brain is about 73% water, and even a small drop in hydration levels can cause it to function poorly. When you are dehydrated, your brain actually has to work harder to do the same tasks, and you may feel tired or get a headache. You might also notice that your mood dips and you feel more irritable or anxious. Drinking water consistently throughout the day is one of the simplest and most effective ways to support your mental performance. Keep a water bottle on your desk and take sips regularly. You will be amazed at how much better you feel. Pay attention to how different foods and drinks affect your focus and energy, and become a scientist of your own body. Notice that heavy, greasy meal at lunch might make you feel sleepy and sluggish in the afternoon. Notice how that afternoon coffee might give you a temporary boost, but then leave you feeling jittery and unable to sleep at night. Everyone is a little different, so you have to learn what works best for you. The goal is not perfection. It is awareness. The more you understand how your fuel choices affect your mental engine, the better choices you will make. You will start to naturally reach for foods that support your focus, because you will feel the difference they make. Chapter 8. The Ritual, a simple on switch for your brain. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to be able to switch into focused work mode almost instantly, while others struggle for hours to get started? The secret often lies in something simple but powerful called a ritual. A ritual is a short, repeatable sequence of actions that you do before you begin a focused activity. It acts like an on switch for your brain, sending a clear signal that it is time to stop wandering and start concentrating. Think of it like the warm-up exercises an athlete does before a game, or the way a musician tunes their instrument before a performance. These actions prepare the mind and body for what is coming next, making the transition into flow much smoother and faster. Your ritual does not have to be complicated or time-consuming. In fact, the simpler it is, the easier it will be to stick with it. It could be as simple as making a cup of tea, clearing your desk of clutter, and taking 3 deep breaths. It could be putting on a specific pair of headphones and playing a particular song that helps you focus. It could be spending 2 minutes writing down your single goal for the next work session in a notebook. The specific actions do not matter as much as the consistency with which you do them. When you repeat the same small sequence before every focused work session, you are training your brain through repetition. Eventually, just starting the ritual will trigger a focused state automatically. The magic of a ritual is that it bridges the gap between your distracted, everyday mind and the focused mind you need for flow. In our normal lives, we are constantly switching between different tasks and stimuli, and our brains get stuck in a scattered, reactive mode. Trying to jump directly from that scattered mode into deep focus is like trying to stop a car going 60 miles per hour. It takes time and distance. Your ritual provides that distance. It gives you a few minutes to slow down, transition, and arrive in a new mental space. It is a bridge you build for yourself, and crossing that bridge tells your brain that a new chapter of your day is beginning. Your ritual also serves as a powerful anchor in a world full of distractions. When you have a set routine that you follow before focusing, you are less likely to get pulled into checking your email or scrolling through your phone. You are protecting your focus time before it even begins by creating a clear boundary. That boundary says, for the next period of time, I am unavailable for anything except this one task. This is incredibly valuable because the biggest enemy of flow is interruption, both from the outside world and from your own restless mind. Your ritual helps you fortify yourself against those interruptions by setting a clear intention. Creating your own personal ritual is a fun and creative process, and you get to design it based on what feels good to you. Think about the activities that help you feel calm, centered, and ready to work. Maybe it is lighting a candle, maybe it is stretching your neck and shoulders, maybe it is looking out the window for 1 minute and noticing the sky. Experiment with different actions and see what combination helps you transition best. The key is to keep it short enough that you will actually do it, but meaningful enough that it has an effect. 5 minutes is a great target to aim for. You are not trying to solve world hunger during your ritual. You are just preparing your mind for the good work ahead. Once you have designed your ritual, commit to using it every time you want to enter a focused state. Be consistent, even on days when you do not feel like it, even on days when you are short on time. The consistency is what builds the neural pathway that makes the ritual work automatically. Over time, it will become a habit that you do not even have to think about, and you will feel strange starting your work without it. This is when you know it is working, when the ritual has become your trusted friend that reliably guides you into the zone. It is a simple tool, but it is one of the most powerful you have for taking control of your attention. Chapter 9. Letting go of the outcome, the secret to fearless action. Here is one of the biggest paradoxes of high performance. If you want to perform your best, you have to stop caring so much about how well you perform. This sounds completely crazy at first, but it is a truth that every great athlete, artist, and performer eventually discovers. When you are too focused on the outcome, on winning the game, getting the grade, or impressing the audience, you fill your mind with fear and anxiety. You start worrying about what might happen if you fail, and that worry distracts you from the present moment. You cannot be fully in the flow when part of your brain is off in the future, worrying about things you cannot control. Letting go of the outcome is the secret to taking fearless action right now. Think about a time when you were doing something just for fun, with no pressure to be good at it. Maybe you were dancing in your kitchen, doodling in a notebook, or playing a casual game with friends. In those moments, you were probably relaxed, creative, and having a great time. You were not worried about looking silly or making mistakes. You were just enjoying the experience. This is the exact mental state you want to bring to your most important work. You want to recapture that playful, curious, fearless attitude, even when the stakes feel high. You want to care deeply about the activity itself, but not at all about what happens after it is done. Letting go of the outcome does not mean you stop trying hard or that you become indifferent to your performance. It means you shift your focus from the result to the process, from the destination to the journey. You become more interested in whether you are fully engaged in this moment than in whether you will win or lose. You start to measure your success by how present you were, how much you enjoyed the challenge, and how well you stuck to your process. When you define success this way, you can never really fail. Even if the external outcome is not what you hoped for, you can still feel good about showing up and giving your best effort in the moment. This shift in focus actually frees you to perform better because it removes the brakes that fear had put on your abilities. When you are not afraid of failing, you are willing to take the risks that lead to breakthroughs. You try things you might have held back before, you express yourself more fully, and you trust your instincts. Your movements become smoother and more natural because you are not second-guessing every decision. It is like driving a car with the parking brake off. You can finally move forward at full speed. The fear was holding you back more than you ever realized, and letting it go releases all that trapped energy. Practicing this mindset takes time because our society is so focused on results and outcomes. We are taught from a young age that winning is everything, and that failure is something to be ashamed of. You have to consciously reprogram this belief by reminding yourself that the process is where life actually happens. The result is just a brief moment at the end, but the process is where you spend all your time and energy. Make that time and energy enjoyable and meaningful. Fall in love with the act of doing, with the struggle and the triumph of each small step. When you love the process, the outcome takes care of itself more often than not. When you catch yourself getting anxious about the result, take a deep breath and gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do right now to move forward? Focus on that one thing and let go of everything else. Remind yourself that you cannot control the outcome, but you can control your effort and your attitude in this moment. This is where your power lies, not in some future result, but in the choices you make right now. Embrace this truth, and you will find a freedom and a fearlessness that transforms your performance and your experience of life. Chapter 10. Immersion: How to Fall in Love with the Present Moment. We spend so much of our lives thinking about the past or worrying about the future that we miss the only moment that is actually real, which is right now. The present moment is where life happens. It is where you breathe, move, feel, and act. It is also the only place where flow can ever be found. You cannot be in flow while you are mentally living in yesterday or tomorrow. Flow requires your full presence in the here and now, a complete immersion in the activity unfolding in front of you. Learning to fall in love with the present moment is therefore one of the most essential skills for anyone who wants to experience peak mental performance on a regular basis. The good news is that the present moment is always available to you, no matter where you are or what you are doing. It is not something you have to search for or earn. It is simply here, waiting for you to notice it. The problem is that we are so habituated to being lost in thought that we forget to pay attention to what is actually happening. We eat lunch while scrolling through our phones. We walk somewhere while listening to podcasts, and we sit with loved ones while our minds are elsewhere. We are missing our own lives, piece by piece. Immersion is the practice of coming home to the present moment again and again, gently and without judgment. One of the simplest ways to practice immersion is to use your senses to anchor yourself in the now. Right at this moment, you can notice 5 things you see around you. You can notice 4 things you can feel, like the texture of your clothes or the air on your skin. You can notice 3 things you hear, maybe a distant sound or the hum of a machine. You can notice 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This simple exercise pulls your attention out of your thinking mind and into your direct sensory experience of the world. It is like a reset button for your awareness, bringing you back to the reality of this moment. When you apply this to your work or your chosen activity, you start to notice details you never saw before. You notice the way the pen feels in your hand, the way the light falls on your page, the subtle sounds your tools make. These details are not distractions, they are doorways into deeper focus. The more you notice about what you are doing, the more interesting it becomes, and the more interesting it becomes, the easier it is to stay focused. You are building a relationship with your activity, getting to know it intimately. This turns even ordinary tasks into rich, engaging experiences that can draw you into flow. Immersion also means giving yourself fully to the activity, without holding back. It means not doing things halfway or with part of your attention reserved for something else. When you wash the dishes, be fully there washing the dishes, feeling the warm water and the satisfaction of making things clean. When you talk to a friend, be fully there listening, without thinking about what you are going to say next. This level of presence is actually a gift you give to yourself and to others. It makes your life richer and deeper, and it makes other people feel seen and valued. You are not just going through the motions, you are truly living. As you practice immersion, you will notice that time seems to expand, and your experience of life becomes more vivid. The hours do not just blur together in a haze of distraction. You remember more of your days because you were actually there for them. You feel more connected to the world and to the people in it. And most importantly for our purpose here, you will find that flow comes to you much more easily because you are already present and engaged. Immersion is not just a technique for finding flow. It is a way of living that makes every moment more worthwhile. Fall in love with the present, and it will reward you with its deepest treasures. Chapter 11. The Feedback Loop. Listening to the quiet signals. When you are driving a car, you are constantly getting feedback that tells you how you are doing. You see the road ahead, you feel the steering wheel respond to your hands, you hear the engine, and you notice your speed on the dashboard. This constant stream of information allows you to make tiny adjustments all the time, keeping you safely in your lane and on course. Being in flow works the same way. You need a constant stream of feedback to stay engaged and make small corrections. This feedback is like a conversation between you and your activity, and learning to listen to it is a vital skill for staying in the zone. The kind of feedback you get in flow is often subtle. It is not usually a scoreboard or someone telling you that you are doing great. It is the quiet feeling of rightness when you make a good move, or the slight discomfort that tells you something is off. It is the way the clay feels in your hands as you shape it, or the sound of your footsteps as you run. It is the immediate result of your action, right there in front of you, telling you what to do next. This immediate feedback is what keeps you locked in the present moment because you have to pay attention to it to keep going. You are in a continuous loop of action, feedback, adjustment, and action again. When the feedback is clear and immediate, your brain does not have to work hard to figure out what to do next. The path reveals itself naturally as you go. This is why activities with clear rules and immediate results are so good for producing flow. Think about playing a musical instrument. You hear the note the moment you play it, and you know instantly whether it was the right one. Think about rock climbing. You feel the hold under your fingers, and you know instantly whether it is secure. These activities provide a rich, constant stream of feedback that guides you moment by moment. You can create this same quality in any activity by paying close attention to the results of your actions. To get good at listening to feedback, you have to quiet your inner critic and your constant self-judgment. The feedback is not about whether you are good or bad. It is just information about what is happening right now. If you make a mistake, the feedback is simply that this action did not produce the result you wanted, so you can try something else. There is no need to get upset or call yourself names. The feedback is neutral, and it is your friend. It is guiding you toward better performance if you are willing to listen without getting defensive. Treat every piece of feedback as useful data, not as a judgment of your worth. In many areas of life, the feedback is not as instant as it is in sports or music, and you have to work a little harder to find it. If you are working on a long-term project, you might not know the results for weeks or months. In these cases, you have to create your own feedback loops. Break the project into smaller pieces and celebrate completing each piece. Ask a trusted friend or colleague for their honest opinion on your work. Set short timers and check in with yourself to see if you are still focused. Find ways to get small hits of feedback that keep you engaged and on track. You are the designer of your own feedback system. The beautiful thing about being in a good feedback loop is that it makes the activity itself rewarding. You are not working for some distant future reward. You are being rewarded right now by the satisfying feeling of progress. Each small success gives you a little boost of motivation to take the next step. This is what makes flow so addictive in the best possible way. You get lost in the joy of the loop, in the constant back and forth between you and your activity. Pay attention to these quiet signals. They are the whispers of your own progress, guiding you toward mastery and deeper satisfaction. Chapter 12. The Afterglow, Savoring Success and Learning from It. You have just come out of a wonderful flow session where you were completely absorbed and performed at your best. You feel energized, satisfied, and deeply happy. This feeling is what we call the afterglow, and it is a precious part of the flow experience that many people overlook. They finish their great work and immediately jump to the next thing on their list, never pausing to savor what just happened. This is a missed opportunity because the afterglow is not just a nice feeling. It is also a powerful tool for learning and for building momentum toward your next flow state. Taking time to appreciate your success is an essential part of the whole process. When you take a few minutes to savor the good feeling after a flow session, you are doing something important for your brain. You are reinforcing the neural pathways that led to that great performance. You are telling your brain, yes, this is good, let us do more of this. This makes it more likely that you will be able to find flow again in the future. Savoring is like watering a plant. It helps the experience take root and grow stronger. You can savor by simply sitting quietly and noticing the good feelings in your body. You can savor by writing down a few words about how you feel. You can savor by sharing your excitement with someone who will celebrate with you. The afterglow is also the perfect time to learn from your experience while it is still fresh in your mind. Ask yourself a few gentle questions about what just happened. What were you doing right before you slipped into the zone? What was different about this session compared to others? Did you have a clear goal? Was the challenge level just right? What distractions did you successfully ignore? The answers to these questions are like gold. They are clues that will help you recreate this amazing experience on purpose. Your past successes are your best teachers if you take the time to listen to them. It is important to approach this reflection with curiosity and kindness, not with harsh judgment. This is not about criticizing yourself for what you could have done better. It is about celebrating what went well and understanding why. You are gathering data about your own peak performance, building a personal user manual for your own brain. The more you understand about your own flow triggers, the easier it becomes to arrange your life to support them. You become an expert on you, and that is a very powerful thing to be. Every flow session adds another piece to your growing understanding. Savoring your success also builds your confidence and your belief in yourself. When you take the time to acknowledge that you did something great, you are giving yourself evidence that you are capable of excellence. This evidence accumulates over time, creating a solid foundation of self-trust. When you face a new challenge, you will remember all those past successes and know that you have what it takes. You will approach the challenge with more confidence and less fear, which makes it even more likely that you will find flow again. It is a beautiful upward spiral of success and confidence feeding each other. Do not let your great moments pass by unnoticed. Pause when you finish something that felt good. Take a breath and let the satisfaction wash over you. Give yourself credit for showing up and doing your best. Write down what you learned. Share your joy with someone you love. This simple practice of savoring and learning will multiply the value of every flow experience you have. It turns a single great moment into a seed that will grow many more. The afterglow is a gift, so make sure you unwrap it fully before you move on to whatever comes next. Chapter 13. Flow in Hard Times, Using the Zone to Get Through Challenges. Life is not always easy, and there will be times when you face stress, difficulty, or even pain. During these hard times, finding flow might seem like the last thing on your mind. You might think that flow is only for the good times, for when things are going well and you feel happy. But this is actually when the principles of flow can be most valuable and most healing. Learning to find moments of focused engagement during difficult periods can give you a break from your suffering, a sense of control, and even a path through the darkness. Flow is not an escape from reality. It is a way of engaging with reality that can help you cope and even grow. When you are going through a hard time, your mind tends to get stuck in painful loops. You replay the same worries over and over, imagining worst-case scenarios and dwelling on your pain. This rumination is exhausting and it makes you feel worse. The focused attention of flow offers a powerful antidote to this mental suffering. When you are fully absorbed in a challenging activity, you cannot also be fully absorbed in your worries. Your brain only has so much attention to give, and flow uses it all. This gives you a mental vacation from your troubles, a period of time when you are not defined by your problems, but by your engagement with the world. The key is to find activities that are just challenging enough to demand your full attention, but not so hard that they add to your stress. This might be a physical activity like going for a run or doing some yoga, where you have to focus on your body and your breath. It might be a creative activity like drawing, playing music, or writing in a journal. It might be something practical like organizing a closet or cooking a complicated meal. The activity itself does not matter as much as the fact that it requires enough focus to pull you out of your worried thoughts. You are looking for a healthy anchor for your attention. Flow during hard times can also give you a much-needed sense of control and agency. When life feels chaotic and out of control, being able to lose yourself in an activity where you have mastery can be incredibly grounding. You remember that you are still capable, still competent, still able to do hard things. This feeling of efficacy can slowly rebuild your confidence and your hope. You prove to yourself, one small focused session at a time, that you are not just a victim of your circumstances. You are an active agent who can choose where to direct your energy and attention. It is also true that some of the deepest flow experiences come from working through challenges. Think about the feeling of finally solving a problem that has been bothering you, or completing a difficult project despite obstacles. The struggle itself can add depth and meaning to the experience. When you come out the other side of a hard time and look back, you might see that those difficult moments were also moments of great strength and focus. You were not just surviving, you were fully engaged in the fight. There is a certain kind of flow that comes from facing adversity head-on, and it can be profoundly empowering. Be gentle with yourself during hard times and do not expect to be at your peak performance every day. Some days, just getting out of bed and doing one small thing might be enough. That one small thing, done with full attention, can still be a flow experience. it can still give you a moment of peace and a reminder of your own strength. Flow is not about being productive all the time. It is about being present. And presence is always available, even in the darkest moments. Let the principles of this book be your companions when times get tough. They will not erase your problems, but they will help you navigate them with more grace and resilience. Chapter 14. Your Flow Triggers, Building Your Personal Toolkit. By now, you have learned about many different elements that can help you find flow, from clear goals to the right challenge level to quieting your mind. Now it is time to bring all of this together and create something personal and powerful, your own Flow Triggers Toolkit. Think of this as a custom-made set of tools that you know work for you, based on your own experience and self-knowledge. These are the conditions, mindsets, and actions you can deliberately create to invite flow into your life. Having a toolkit means you are never starting from scratch. You have a reliable set of strategies to call on whenever you need them. The first step in building your toolkit is to look back over your past flow experiences and identify patterns. What was happening right before you slipped into the zone? Were you in a particular place at a particular time of day? Were you listening to music or in silence? Had you just exercised or eaten a certain meal? What was your goal and was it clear? What was your mindset? Write down everything you can remember. No detail is too small. You are looking for the common threads that run through your best moments. These threads are your personal triggers. Based on what you discover, you can start to design your ideal pre-flow conditions. Maybe you learn that you do your best focused work in the morning, after a short walk and a glass of water, with your phone in another room. That becomes one of your triggers. Maybe you learn that a particular type of music helps you focus, so you create a playlist just for flow sessions. Maybe you learn that you need a completely clear desk and a written goal on a sticky note in front of you. These are all triggers you can intentionally create. You are not waiting for the right conditions to appear. You are building them yourself. Your toolkit should also include the mental shifts that help you get into the right headspace. For example, reminding yourself to let go of the outcome and focus on the process can be a powerful trigger. Telling yourself that mistakes are just feedback can help you relax and take risks. Taking 3 deep breaths to quiet your mind can be a trigger you use right before you start. These mental triggers are just as important as the physical ones. You can write them down on an index card and keep it nearby as a reminder. Over time, they will become automatic habits. Do not be afraid to experiment and add new tools to your toolkit. Try working at a different time of day and see what happens. Try a new ritual for a week and notice if it helps. Try adjusting the challenge level of your task to see if you can find a better sweet spot. Your toolkit is a living thing that will grow and change as you do. The goal is not to find the one perfect formula, but to build a rich collection of strategies that you can draw from depending on the situation. Some days you might need one set of tools, and other days you might need another. Your Flow Triggers Toolkit is your personal key to unlocking your best self. It represents everything you have learned about how your own mind works and what it needs to perform at its peak. Having this toolkit gives you confidence and a sense of control over your own mental state. You are no longer at the mercy of random inspiration or good luck. You have a reliable system for inviting excellence into your life whenever you choose. Build your toolkit with care, use it often, and watch as flow becomes a regular and cherished part of your daily experience. Chapter 15. A Life in Flow, Designing Your Days for Peak Happiness. We have reached the final chapter of our journey together, and now it is time to dream big. Imagine what your life would be like if flow was not just an occasional visitor, but a regular part of your everyday existence. Imagine waking up excited for the day ahead, knowing that you have the tools to engage deeply with whatever comes your way. Imagine moving through your work, your hobbies, and your relationships with a sense of presence and joy. This is not just a fantasy. It is a real possibility that is available to you. The final step is to take everything you have learned and use it to design a life that naturally invites flow in. Designing a life for flow means being intentional about how you spend your time and energy. It means looking at your daily and weekly schedule and asking yourself, where are the opportunities for deep focus and engagement? It might mean protecting certain hours of your day for your most important work, free from interruptions. It might mean finding ways to make your routine tasks more challenging and interesting. It might mean saying no to some activities that drain your energy without giving you anything back. You are the architect of your own life, and you get to decide what kind of structure you want to build. It also means paying attention to the balance between challenge and skill across your whole life. Are there areas where you are bored because things are too easy? Can you add a new challenge or learn a new skill to reignite your engagement? Are there areas where you feel overwhelmed and anxious? Can you break things down, ask for help, or give yourself permission to do less than perfectly? You have the power to adjust the challenges in your life to keep yourself in that sweet spot where you feel most alive. This is an ongoing process of tuning and adjustment, like keeping an instrument in tune. Your relationships are also a rich ground for flow. Deep conversations, collaborative projects, and even playful activities with loved ones can all be sources of focused engagement. When you are fully present with another person, listening deeply and responding authentically, you can enter a kind of social flow that is deeply rewarding. Design time into your life for these kinds of connections. Put away your devices and give people your full attention. You will be amazed at how much richer your relationships become when you bring the principles of flow to them. Do not forget to include play and creativity in your life design. Flow does not only happen at work, it happens when you are doing things just for the joy of doing them. Make time for hobbies that absorb you completely, whether that is painting, hiking, playing an instrument, or building something with your hands. These activities are not a waste of time. They are essential nourishment for your soul and practice grounds for your flow skills. They remind you that focus and engagement are their own rewards. Living a life in flow is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when everything clicks and you feel unstoppable, and there will be days when you struggle to focus and nothing seems to work. Both are part of the process. Be kind to yourself on the hard days and celebrate the good ones. Keep practicing the skills you have learned, keep adjusting your design, and keep showing up for your life with presence and curiosity. You have everything you need inside you right now. Your flow life is waiting. Go ahead and start living it. Conclusion. We have covered a lot of ground together in this book, from understanding what flow is to building your personal toolkit and designing a life that invites it in. The most important thing to remember as you close this book and begin your own journey is that flow is not some distant, magical state reserved for a special few. It is a natural, accessible part of being human, and it is always available to you. The tools and ideas we have explored are simply ways of removing the blocks and creating the conditions that allow your natural excellence to shine through. You already have a superpower inside you, and now you know how to use it. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and your journey into flow begins with your very next moment of focus. Pick one small idea from this book and try it today. Maybe it is setting a clear goal for your next task. Maybe it is taking 3 deep breaths before you start working. Maybe it is paying attention to the feedback your actions give you. Whatever you choose, just start. Each small step will build your confidence and your skill, and before you know it, you will be experiencing flow more often and more deeply. Trust yourself, be patient, and enjoy the ride. Your peak mental performance is not just a possibility, it is your birthright. Go ahead and claim it.